Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, and thank you for allowing us to come into your viewing environment. We are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Scheduling permitted, we are with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. to address whatever topics you might like to discuss, whatever issues of life you find challenging or that you find difficult to navigate. We broadcast live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio where you can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships. Whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind, God is concerned about that which concerns you. And so we are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And I want to say to all of our listeners and viewers, as we go live today, be aware that we are celebrating our 17th church anniversary at New Life Christian Center, 400 Hillcrest Avenue in Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. Service begins at 10 a.m. We invite everyone, if you're in our area, to come and to worship with us and to, most importantly, experience a better quality of life. But this is a celebration of worship, praise, and service as we serve the Lord by serving our fellow man. So I want to invite you all. I just want to take out a moment to do that for all of our new listeners and viewers. As I said, I'm Pastor Pope, the senior pastor of New Life Christian Center. So there's parking on Hillcrest. We're the brown brick building located right on the corner of Hillcrest and Marsh Road. Come and worship with us. Service begins at 10 a.m. However, if you're not in our area, we invite you to tune in on all of our platforms. You can tune in on Facebook, YouTube, RadioFreeNetwork.com. Go to RadioFreeNetwork.com/new-life. And every broadcast will be available to you. And in addition to that, we are going to be launching our 24-hour, 7 days a week, internet radio station, Faith, WKAP, Faith Empowerment Radio. So we will be launching that on Sunday, March the 27th, barring any technical difficulties. We will be live. We will be broadcasting on our radio station, WKAP Faith Empowerment Radio. So we invite you to tune in. We're excited about what God is doing. We're excited about moving forward to serve our fellow man. Now, one of the things that you will notice, you will hear music 24 hours a day, music that will encourage you, it will empower you, it will inspire you, 24 hours a day. And then there will be segments that will be plugged in that will be addressing issues of life, 3D, health and wellness segments that will be addressed by our licensed and registered dietitian and nutritionist, who's our monthly contributor, Rebecca Buva, licensed and registered dietitian and nutritionist, BeccaTheDietitian.com. And you will hear segments on health and wellness, financial literacy, entrepreneurship. So there'll be segments added to the broadcast, but primarily you will be hearing music 24 hours a day. And so we're excited about you being able to be tuned in, encouraged, empowered, inspired, and that you will be able to enhance the quality of your life by your listening pleasure. So tune in on Sunday. Go to RadioFreeNetwork.com/WKAP-Faith, and you will hear the music that's being broadcast on our new internet radio station. Starting Sunday, barring any technical failure or any technical difficulties. We don't want you, if for some reason we are not live with the broadcast, the radio station going, it is purely due to technical failure, and tune in again on Monday. But our intent is to be live on Sunday, March 27, 2022, with our new internet radio station, WKAP Faith Empowerment Radio. I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that this has been an extremely difficult time for you financially. And a friend suggested that you send in this communication and you want to know how to overcome your financial issues. So let me begin by saying this. The very first thing you're going to have to do, listen, I'm going to share a couple of things, and I want you to take this in the spirit it's intended. There's the rule of holes. When you've dug yourself into a hole, stop digging. So one of the things that I always use as an analogy is to say, stop spending. That's first and foremost, you've got to put the brakes on, the emergency brake, which means your car is not going to move. And that means that you're not going to make any decisions or make any moves with your purchasing power. Stop spending today. Just stop. And the very first thing you're going to need to do is draft a budget. You draft a budget which will include all of your income and expenditures. If you do not have a budget form, when you email me, I will send you a budget form. But you need a budget sheet. And then you need to write your income. I don't want to see it. Don't send it back to me. I'm going to send it to you blank. Just, unless you ask me further questions, just write your budget. Make sure you fill in all the spaces. Every expenditure first your income, and then every expenditure you have going out. Fill in the blanks. Know exactly where you are. That's the first thing you've got to do. In order for you to get resolve your financial issues or get your financial house in order, the first thing you need to know is how much you have coming in and how much you have going out. That's the very first thing. And then in addition to that, you then have to begin to work that plan. You have to work on your budget. You've got to reduce some of your costs. And the way that you do that, and this is what most people don't want to do, but it's going to be necessary. The very first place you're going to be able to reduce your cost of living and reduce your expenses, believe it or not, is entertainment. Entertainment is the first category that you have the opportunity to reduce. And when I say that, meaning you can reduce how many times a month you go out. You can reduce how many times a month you eat out, you dine out. You can reduce your entertainment expenses before you reduce anything else. And that's the easiest place to cut costs. Then once you've done that, you have to be more intentional with your capital allocation. And what I mean by that is, you might decide that you're going to be more efficient with your driving habits. So therefore, you're going to reduce your cost of gasoline. You might decide that you're going to be more effective with managing your dry cleaning schedule. You might decide that you can be more effective with your energy usage at home. There are ways that you can reduce your costs little by little that will allow you to be more effective, more efficient, and more intentional with your capital allocation. Always start with entertainment. And then, as I said, you look for ways to be more intentional. And that includes purchasing clothing. You know, there's a couple of dynamics that go with your purchasing power. So let me give you an example of this. If you save money and buy higher quality goods, they will last for longer periods of time, which means you don't have to spend money replacing them. That's first and foremost. That's the rule of shopping. Secondly, people say, well, I like buying new things. Well, we all like nice things. I've said this in the sermon. We all like nice things. but it's how we allocate our capital. Are we going to buy things that we're going to have to replace soon, or are we going to buy things that we know are going to last for a significant period of time without being replaced? That has to be part of the intentional capital allocation. We have to be intentional about our capital. And then, of course, cutting back on food and beverages, even at home. So some things that we buy aren't good for us anyway, so you reduce some of your spending on, watch this, and this is for all of our listeners and viewers. How about this? Your grocery budget. Now, I know many people are going to say it's hard to do this right now because we're living with pandemic prices. However, when we're in a time of normalcy, if you find that you need to reduce your expenditures, you cut back on chips, sodas, things that you know aren't good for you anyway, but we indulge ourselves with certain things. Eliminate them from your shopping list so that you can reduce your expenditures. There are things we can do. There are things we can do to reduce our expenditures if we're intentional about our capital placement. Now, I'm a firm believer. Look, people will say, "Well, you don't have to have Starbucks every day." Now, we're Starbucks shareholders, so I'm fine with you drinking Starbucks, but people will tell you don't have to have Starbucks every day. You can. That's something you can do to reduce your expenditures. Now, we thank you, but that's something you can do to reduce your expenditures. Instead of going every day, maybe go every other day. During the week. We're less susceptible to stop on the weekend. And the reason I know that is because I go by Starbucks a lot. I stop by Starbucks frequently. I don't ever go on the weekends. Or I should say it's very rare that I go on the weekends. It's generally during the week. But that's something that if we want to reduce our cost of living, if we want to reduce our expenditures, there are things that we can do. You might want to eliminate ice cream from your shopping list. In other words, what I'm basically telling you, there is a way, if we're intentional, there's a way to reduce even our grocery shopping by probably 10 to 20%. Just by eliminating some of the things that aren't important and choose them as a treat versus choosing them as part of our daily diet. There are things we can do, all of us, to reduce our expenditures if we desire to do that. If you have a reason for reducing your expenditures. Now, none of us should be wasting money. None of us should be wasting it. My wife laughs at me because I have a theory. If I can't eat it, wear it, or it takes me from one place to another, then it's probably not necessary. It's probably not necessary. If I can't eat it, drink it, or when I say that, meaning hot chocolate during the winter at Starbucks. If I can't eat it, drink it, wear it, or it's not getting me from one place to another, it's probably not necessary. It's an indulgence. So we just have to be more intentional. So fill out the budget sheet. Make sure you do both sides. I'll send you one. Make sure you do both sides. Email me right after the broadcast or even during the broadcast, but still listen and watch. Tune in. And I'll send one to you after the broadcast. And you can fill out every line item. And it will help you to go through and see also what you don't need to do and eliminate them from your monthly expenditures. That will save you money. And then once you begin to save money, you'll be able to reallocate money. But the first thing you got to do is stop spending. Remember, if you find yourself that you dug yourself into a hole, stop digging. That's the rule of holes. And you will find that if you follow the budget, pardon me. Okay, so everyone knows I'm having some issues with my allergies today, and they've been bothering me all day long. So please tolerate me and bear with me. Now, having said that, here's what you've got to remember. That if you follow the budget and you stay on the course, by this time next year, you will see the difference in what you've been able to accomplish. You will see the results, and it will be worth it in the end. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. If you are not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will place you into our queue so that you may become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill. And if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill at T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you have been seeing a therapist about some of your childhood trauma. However, you do not feel this has been helpful. And you want to know, are there any other resources that I could recommend? You know, I don't want to sound flippant, like when I gave the last answer. I didn't want to sound flippant. There are certain things that we have to recognize. And just as I indicated earlier with our listener and viewer who talked about financial issues, she has to stop spending, follow the budget. In your case, you're saying you feel like it's been a waste of time. What I can to go to your therapist, and what I can tell you is this. It's probably not a waste of time for you to. I don't know your therapist, but I'm going to venture into saying that I would recommend, just as I was prayerful about this, that you continue doing what you're doing because it gives you someone to discuss what you perceive to be childhood trauma. In addition to that, the answer always is having a relationship with Jesus. You need the Lord. You need the Lord to really deal with the issues that you're dealing with. Not to negate that your therapist is probably doing you some good, but you don't realize it, because what you've been looking for, and I'm gonna say this to you, you've been looking for your therapist to give you answers to your problems. Your therapist is not there to give you the answers. Your therapist is there to help you find the answers, to discuss the issues and search for the answers. How do you resolve it and move forward? How do you get to the place where you can move forward in your life without taking the past with you? So your therapist is probably doing you more good than you think that your therapist is doing, but it's your perception. So your perception is she's not giving, and I say she because she's a female. She's not giving you the answers to the problem. That's not her job. Her job is to listen to the issues that you bring her and discuss those issues with you so that together you can find an answer for the issue. Her job is to listen. Her job is to engage. And her job is to help you sort through the issues so that you can bring them to a successful resolution. And for all of our listeners and viewers out there, therapy can serve a purpose in many cases. But every one of us needs a relationship with the Lord. Because that's the only way we're going to be able to deal with all of our problems, whatever they might be. Life happens to us all. But every one of us is going to need the Lord to get us through whatever we are going through at any particular time. Because life happens to every one of us. So I want to encourage you by saying this. It's time for you to really develop a relationship with the Lord. You've thought for a long time that you have a relationship with the Lord because you go to church, you've gone to church. You may not be going right now, but you've gone. You attend church from time to time. So you know who God is, and you know his son, Jesus Christ. However, you've got to form a relationship with him. You can't get to what God has for you without going through his son. No man goes to the Father except by him. So we have to be mindful of that. We have to be mindful in the sense that without a relationship with the Lord, just knowing who he is only going to allow us to live. It's not going to allow us to thrive. It's not going to allow us to have life and to have it more abundantly. Your childhood trauma, I regret that you had to go through that experience. I'm saddened that you had to go through that experience. Because no child deserves to go through what you had to endure. No child. However, at the same time, you've now recognized that there was some underlying childhood trauma, and now you've sought out therapy to do something about it. I'm also going to ask you to seek out the Lord, because he really will do something about it, and still go to therapy so that you have someone to talk to. Someone that you can open up with, that you only have to see them when you're scheduled to see them. That'll help you in the process. Because it'll give you someone to speak with on a consistent basis who is not going to judge, is not going to judge you, and is not going to share that information with anyone else, because you want to be protected from that. So you need to continue doing what you're doing, but now you need to add something else into the equation, and that something else is always the Lord. This segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by Charles Tyrwhitt, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So if you're in any of those areas, stop in at their retail stores. They have everything that a man could possibly need. Shirts for men, ties for men, suits for men, and accessories. If you're not in any of those areas, you can order from Charles Tyrwhitt at They will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. And The White Company, located in London, the UK, and they also have a store on Fifth Avenue in New York. So if you're in New York, stop in at their retail store. They have everything you could possibly need: home goods, clothing for men, women, and children. And if you're not in New York, you can order from The White Company at thewhitecompany.com. They too will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you would like to have more hope for yourself and for your children for the future. However, you do not see how things are going to change in your life. And you want to know, is there something you can do to make change? So, yes, the answer to that is very simply yes, you can make change. And there are some things that you can do. And part of that is that you've got to decide what you want to accomplish for your life and the life of your children. You have to decide what that's going to look like. You have to decide that your personal life is going to be compartmentalized into certain aspects. Your professional life is going to be compartmentalized into certain aspects. And those aspects are going to be based on what you desire to accomplish both personally and professionally. So I'm going to say this to you. The first step to making change is identifying that you want to make change. You're someone who has decided that you are not going to let anyone else make the decision for you on when change would occur in your life. You were going to make that decision for yourself, and when you made that decision, you were going to take action. So the good news is that you're at that point where you can now begin to take some action. So you've thought about what you want to accomplish both personally and professionally, but you haven't written it down. So that's one thing that is hindering you from moving forward, because you have no clear vision. You have a vision, but you have no clear vision. The reason you have no clear vision is because you didn't write it down. So if you don't write it down, it won't happen. If it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist. So you've got to make sure that you write down exactly what you want to accomplish, both personally and professionally, for the next, listen to this, for the next 3 years and the next 7 years. Start there. 3 years and 7 years. You really want to write a 7-year plan, but you're going to do it 3 years first and 4 years second. That's going to help you get to where you want to go. That's going to help you to be able to make the changes that you would like to make. And if you do those things, if you find that you do those things, you're going to find that you have more time, that you have that you literally have more time to accomplish what you want to accomplish in life. You've got to really sit down and chart your course and write out exactly what you want to accomplish, both personally and professionally. And you will get to the place that God has appointed for your life. I want to say to all of our listeners and viewers, we want you to join us on Sunday in person at New Life Christian Center, 400 Hillcrest Avenue in Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. So we're the brown brick building located right on the corner of Hillcrest and Marsh Road. There's parking on Hillcrest. We are the brown brick building right on the corner of Hillcrest and Marsh Road. If you're in our area, come and worship with us at 10 a.m. this Sunday. We are celebrating our 17th anniversary. Our 17th church anniversary. Service begins at 10 a.m. You will learn to experience a better quality of life at New Life Christian Center. because that's what we do. No pun intended. No jokes here. Listen, yes it was. But we want you to experience a better quality of life. That's our goal. So come worship with us. Come praise the Lord. Come and experience a better quality of life. 10 a.m. on Sunday. If you're not in our area, 10:45 a.m. we go live. Today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast 3D has been brought to you by Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com.